Good evening, and welcome to our masquerade honoring our outstanding elementary school teachers of the year. Our theme is quite fitting this year, considering we have all become familiar with wearing masks of a different kind. I am Erin Grenier, Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum Instruction and Assessment, and your Mistress of Ceremonies for the 2020-2021 St. Charles Parish Public Schools Elementary School Teachers of the Year Banquet. Please join me and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We are all excited to be here, and I am glad that we are able to gather this year. So without further ado, I'd like to invite School Board President, Ms. Melinda Bernard, to the podium to give her welcome.
Good evening. I will take this mask over the other one. We welcome you all this evening. The St. Charles Parish Public School System truly has the best teachers in the state of Louisiana. We typically gather once a year to honor the best of the best, our own Teachers of the Year. But as you know, this year we get to gather twice. It is my honor to welcome you all to this banquet and to introduce my fellow school board members in attendance. Please stand when I call your name. This evening we have Vice President from District 8, Mr. Al Suffren. From District 1, Mr. Ellis Alexander. From District 4, we have Mr. Sonny Savoy. From District 5, Mr. John Smith. And from District 7, Mr. Art Oquin. On behalf of the school board, excuse me, the mask makes me On behalf of the school board, I would like to congratulate all 9 of our elementary teachers of the year. We thank you for all you do for our children, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you, Ms. Bernard. As you may have noticed in your program, the dinner portion of our evening will now commence. Please enjoy your meal, and we will resume with the program after dessert is served. hope everyone enjoyed their Mardi Gras themed courses. We will now resume this evening's program at this time. However, please feel free to continue eating at your leisure. The Teachers of the Year program is a national program designed to honor outstanding teachers from each state. On the local level, we meet annually to honor all of our Teachers of the Year and announce an elementary, middle, and high school teacher as the St. Charles Parish Teachers of the Year. All Teachers of the Year must complete an application with writing samples, be observed in the classroom, and be interviewed by a selection committee. While our selection committee members could not be here this evening due to capacity limitations, we would still like to mention those who served on the Elementary School Selection Committee. 2020 Teacher of the Year, Brian Goff. School System Employees, Rachel Monte and Ada Weber. Community Representative, Mary Rodriguez of OxyChem. We thank them for giving their time to select this year's elementary school winner. School Board President Melinda Bernard and Superintendent Dr. Ken Ortling will present each Teacher of the Year with an engraved logo award. Please direct your attention to the screen as you meet some of our Teachers of the Year.
My biggest fear when I started teaching was, am I going to make a difference? Am I going to be good at it? I think anytime that you go into something, you want to be great at what you do. It's a telling thing. Children are so honest. It shows every day. So if you feel like you're not doing the best by seeing some of the results that you see, and it kind of makes you reflective for sure, like, what do I need to do to be better? And so far it's been such an incredible journey. It's definitely not easy, it's hard, but it's so rewarding. And that's what keeps me coming back every year, because I see the difference that my children make from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, how much they progress, how much they change, how their personalities become, how they become more confident. It's just a rewarding and amazing feeling as a teacher to know that you've helped that child become who they're going to become later down the line. When my students look back and think about being with me, I hope that they can remember having fun learning. I hope that they can remember that Miss Chapman was my cheerleader. They are limitless to what they can do. And I hope that they remember that confidence that I hope I'm instilling in them, that even though things are going to be difficult, you can still overcome it. That's what I want to be remembered as. A person who loved you, a person who gave you confidence to know that you can still do it even if it's difficult or it's challenging, and a person and a teacher who made learning fun. Some students you just never forget. And I remember this particular student who really had a hard home life, and due to some things that were going on around him, he was kind of acting out in class and we were having difficulties. And I remember pulling him into the hallway and talking to him. And I said, why are you doing this in class? What's going on with you? And he kind of came back and he, in a roundabout way, said, I don't like to go home. And I was like, why don't you like to go home? What do you mean? I want to stay with you. Why, baby? Why are you saying that? And from that conversation, I kind of realized how school and my classroom was that safe place for him. And it made me think, if that happens with him, how many other children that haven't shared that with me? How many children who are going through things at home that we don't realize and know about, that this is their safe place? And that moment opened my eyes to make me believe and see that my job was not only to teach, but to make sure that every child was loved. Even if they don't get it, it's okay. But creating that loving support for them is what's most important. Kind of stepping back and seeing, you just gotta love them harder. They just need it a little bit more.
My biggest fear when I started teaching was to make sure that I would be able to reach each and every child that comes into my classroom. I know that many of them come with a lot of background issues that they're bringing into the classroom, and so to be able to overcome those things when they're there to be able to learn. Because, you know, if they're at home and they're worried about other things that are going on, then they can't come into the classroom and focus on the education that they're being given when they're at school. A lot more patient now than when I started in the beginning. Just knowing third graders, I've been teaching third grade almost my entire career, and knowing how they behave at that age of, you know, 8, 9 years old, that I think my patience for them is a little bit better, so that I'm able to reach them while I'm teaching them in the classroom. My students look back, I hope that they think of me as someone who really cared about them as an individual, you know, making sure that they knew I wanted to know about them. I wanted to know about the things that they were doing in their life, whether they're playing basketball or if they have their next piano recital or you know, a dance recital. You know, letting them know that I really cared about them as a whole child, not just as their teacher, you know, somebody who cared about them. If I had to think of one moment in my teaching career that made an impact to me, I think it was probably when we changed over to teaching Eureka Math, and we started the year of teaching, and the curriculum writers were actually in and out of our classrooms constantly. And at that time, they chose myself and another third grade math teacher to come in and record a lesson that they wanted to use in some of their videos and workshops and things. So I was very proud and honored that they asked me to do that, especially so early on when we started teaching that new curriculum. You know, I mean, I knew my students last year finishing out the year with them, but not being in the room with them, it didn't feel the same. So this year, being able to start out a year learning new students in the beginning, I was very grateful that we were able to get back into the classroom and be able to teach them there in person, because I think just at a young age, it's a little bit harder for those younger students to be able to do some of the work that they need to do on their own, as opposed to like high school and middle students who they've got a little bit more responsibility under their belt, that they would be able to accomplish those things on their own rather than with that teacher right there with them. It's a great privilege to be able to represent all of the teachers at school, because I know how hard each and every one of them work every day to educate the students of our JVL.
My biggest fear when I started teaching was that I wasn't going to make enough of an impact on the kids, that I wasn't going to be able to give enough of myself. I'm a much different teacher now. I've learned from mentor teachers and watched and grown and sought out different things to make improvements in my lessons, and just seeing where the kids need. I've learned a lot along the way, that it's not just teaching them academically, but also emotionally and socially. To represent Mimosa Park as Teacher of the Year this year, it means that all of the things that we do for the students are truly worth it. All the hard work and dedication that we put in, they're being seen by other people, and that's exactly not why we go into the career. It's to show that we, all the dedication for the kids, but everyone all over seeing it. The people that have inspired me to teach are past teachers that I have had, past colleagues that I've gotten to work along with, but especially the kids. Seeing them grow every day and the changes that they make from the beginning of the year to the end of the year are remarkable. When my students look back, I hope they realize that I wasn't just there just to be their teacher and teach them academically, but I was there as an overall person in their corner, making sure they succeeded in everything they tried. The one interaction that really stood out to me is early on in my career, I had a student and he was being raised by his grandma, and the grandma really just wanted him to finish school, and she has reached out to me since then, and he did finish school, and she said we made sure that we set him up for success and instilled the things he needed. So she was very fortunate that he graduated. So just looking back and seeing the difference that you make even 15 years down the road, especially in pre-K, the interactions are genuine, the friendships that they're making, and the academics are growing, but you still have the heart of it. You still have to make sure they're taken care of socially, emotionally, So just the future looks bright for them. We just have to make sure that they developmentally are met their needs. I try to teach them that to take chances. Don't be afraid. Even if you say a wrong answer, we're here to help you. You want them to be able to kind of work through things, work through their fears, and make sure that they're not concentrating on I can't do it. At this age, they want to tell you a lot that they can't do it, but they're capable of a lot more than they think.
I'm a different teacher from when I started teaching because I am way more confident. So the first time you teach something, it's different than when we learned it in school. So you have to learn this whole new way of thinking. So I used to sit at my kitchen table and try to teach out loud if my mom was listening or whoever was listening. And just along the way, I just learned to be more confident in my delivery of the instruction. And when you're more confident, the kids buy into you more, and they're like, oh yeah, she knows what she's doing, so we know what we're doing. But once I stepped into the classroom, and after you get that first year under your belt, it just comes naturally. You learn what works and what doesn't work, and you change as you go. When my students look back at their year in Miss Gobert's classroom, I hope that they remember that it was a fun place. And I hope that makes them want to continue learning for the rest of their lives. Even as adults, we all learn on a day-to-day basis. So that's what I hope they take away, is that learning is a lifelong process and it should be fun. The moment that sticks out to me the most, so last year with COVID, and we went out right before the leak test happened. And these kids that I had last year in my class, they had had a rough math career up until they got to me. And so at the beginning of the year, every time we learned a math lesson, there were at least 3 kids who cried. I just built them up, and we got to the point where we weren't crying in class anymore. And we did like LEAP practice every day, and they were getting high scores on their little pre-LEAP quizzes and stuff. And then when we went out, I had this student, his name was Jeremiah, and I was talking to his mom on the phone, and his mom was like, can you talk to Jeremiah? And I was like, of course, sure. Jeremiah was like, Miss Gobert, are we gonna take the LEAP this year? I really wanted to get a mastery for you and for me. And I was like, oh my gosh. So that just stuck out to me, that these kids who are low and cry every day at the beginning of the year, and then they get to this point where they wanna take the LEAP test, they know that they can do well, they don't cry anymore. So that has stuck out to me as I did something right as a teacher, and that has been my favorite moment so far. So for the future, for my students, I hope that they do whatever they want to do, whatever they see themselves as being successful at, whether that is working in air conditioning or working in electric or being a teacher or being a doctor or whatever. I just want them to be successful and just, like I said earlier, keep on learning for life. I have a student in my class right now who told me, she's like, Miss Gobert, when I'm gonna be a teacher, I wanna be a student teacher in your classroom. So she's like, can I be your student teacher? I was like, well, you have to graduate high school, go to college, and so, I want to inspire them to be whatever they wanna be.
I do feel like teaching has made me a different person, and it's taught me to be resilient, it's taught me to persevere, it's taught me not to be so judgmental. Sometimes a kid acts a certain way, but it's not really how they're feeling. That's just the facade they put on. So it's definitely made me be just, more flexible, more open-minded, more patient, and just realize that, every child is unique and they all bring different things to the table. They have different issues at home. So I think I've learned over the years just to basically, you have to change the way you teach, and each kid is different, and what works with one kid, you think you got it, guess what? The next kid comes along and doesn't work. You have to start all over again. I guess I just was afraid that I wouldn't be good enough, that yes, maybe I'm going through the motions, but am I really teaching the kids? Am I really making a difference in their life? You have to face your fears, and most of the time through experience and time, you kind of realize you can do anything, and that you just have to go with the flow, and just sometimes you think you're doing a horrible job, and then they write you a note saying thank you, or all of a sudden they come around and say, I'll never forget you, and you're kind of taken aback because you really thought you weren't doing what you needed to do or to meet their needs, and all of a sudden they're appreciating you. And I would hope that basically that they can go on to live a successful life, whatever it may be. Everybody has different paths they're going to. And that I do think everybody can succeed in whatever they set out to do. It may look different for everybody and everyone may take a different path, but that I do believe in them. And I get so excited when any of my students think they can't do something and I show them that you can. Maybe it's not the same way as everybody else. You may have to go, like I said, think arounds, work arounds, but it's doable. Quite recently, I've been working with a young lady. She was dyslexic, and I could tell she was smart as a whip, but she really had trouble reading. And she went off to high school, and off she went. Well, recently I heard that she was asked to be in the English honors class. And for a child with dyslexia, it just makes me feel wonderful because I know she thought she probably was dumb. She thought she couldn't learn because she was really not having much success at school. But once I just showed her this workaround, a different way of doing things, and she was so driven, so motivated, and so smart. It's just part of the brain that processes language and stuff maybe didn't work exactly right, so her brain used another part, but it worked. It just took her a little bit longer. And I'm so proud of her because people don't know how hard she has to work to get where she is. Like kids with dyslexia or learning disability often their brains work twice as hard as a regular person just to get to what somebody normally does. I think they all will have a different path. I don't think it's going to be a cookie cutter for them. I think some of them are definitely capable academically of being successful, if they want to, getting a high school diploma, going to college, getting the job of their choice, whatever they're interested in. But I just hope that no matter what path they take, it's something that they like and they can be successful and be independent and be able to, support themselves and support if they have a wife and children in the future. But that's my main hope for them.
She would have become a dental hygienist. During her summer vacations, Mrs. Chapman enjoys taking a family trip in addition to relaxing and playing with her son, either in her yard or at the park. She loves to travel, read, and cook. With a toddler at home, Ms. Chapman prefers listening to Audible books and is currently listening to A Woman's Influence by Tony A. Gaskins Jr. and Sherry Gaskins. If she were to have disguised herself for this evening's masquerade, you would find her dressed up as Princess Tiana from Princess and the Frog. Ms. Chapman has been married to her husband, Hosea, for 4.5 years. They have a toddler son, Canaan, and are expecting another baby boy at the beginning of May. New Sarpy Elementary School's Teacher of the Year, Teresa Chapman. Our Teacher of the Year from RJVL Elementary School became a teacher to make a difference in the lives of the students she teaches by helping them accomplish their goals and be successful. However, if not a teacher, she would have been a nurse. During her summer vacations and free time, Ms. Dejean likes baking, watching her children participate in sports they play, and going to the beach. She is a leader of the cooking club at her school, so it is not surprising that the book on her bedside table is Wilton Cake Decorating. If you were to meet her at a masquerade, instead of looking for a teacher, you would need to look for a princess, since that would be the disguise that she would choose. Her family includes one daughter and one son. RJVL Elementary School's Teacher of the Year, Jennifer Dejean. Our Teacher of the Year from Mimosa Park Elementary School became a teacher because she wanted to help children reach their full potential. However, if not a teacher, she would have been a chemical engineer. Miss Fonte's favorite thing to do in her spare time is to spend time with her family, specifically doing anything that involves being outside. During her summer vacations, she likes to visit the mountains and the beach. The book currently on Miss Fonte's bedside table is Having a Merry Heart in a Martha World. I believe there is a running theme tonight because she too would disguise herself as a princess to attend a masquerade. Miss Fonte has been married to her husband James for 6 years and has 6 children, 3 girls, Olivia, Alyssa, and Alexis, and 3 boys, Cameron, Brock, and Joe. Mimosa Park Elementary School's Teacher of the Year, Amy Fonte. Our Teacher of the Year from Luling Elementary School became a teacher because she was called to foster the desire to learn within children. However, if not a teacher, she would have become an obstetrician. In her spare time, Miss Gobert likes to read, sew Christmas stockings, get manicures, and shop. Me too. During her summer vacations, she typically goes on a family vacation when not teaching summer school. Miss Gobert is currently reading All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. No princess for this teacher. She would fit right in with this evening's theme and would disguise herself as the queen of the crew of Mardi Gras. Miss Gobert grew up in Luling with her mom, dad, sister, and brother. Her sister and her brother-in-law have 3 children, Braxton, Kyler, and Lawson, who are her favorite people in the world. Luling Elementary School's Teacher of the Year, Elizabeth Gobert. Our Teacher of the Year from Ethel Scheffner Elementary School became a teacher because she was inspired by her grandmother, who taught special education students in her home. However, if not a teacher, she would have become a zoologist. During her summer vacations, Miss Hockey visits her in-laws in Canada in addition to going on family vacations. She enjoys walking, reading, traveling, listening to music, and eating out. While she may travel to Canada during the summer, Miss Hockey has been traveling to Russia lately by reading the book A Gentleman in Moscow. To find her at a masquerade, be on the lookout for a guest disguised as Marie Antoinette. Miss Hockey is married and has 2 teenage boys in addition to a big dog named Percy. Ethel Scheffner Elementary School's Teacher of the Year, Ellen Hockey. Now let's redirect our attention to the screen to meet our remaining elementary school Teachers of the Year.
guess my biggest fear when I started teaching was that I would not be any good, I guess. As my students get older and they look back, at me as their teacher, I want them to know that I cared and that I really invested my time in wanting them to learn. Those children have come back to me already and tell me, thank you for doing this for me when you did, or thank you for bringing me to the movies that time. I always want them to remember that I was that teacher that really did care. I wasn't just there to teach the curriculum, that I really invested my time in their whole person, not just teaching them how to read or the curriculum. I wanted to teach the whole person inside and out. A lot of them come to me struggling and in the areas of reading and writing, and I really want to help them fix that to where they're not struggling. I never want to see that look of fear when they open a book or they don't know what to do. I like to see them at the end of the program or at the end of the year when they open up a book and they have that light inside of them and they're happy and confident. That inspires me. The next year when I go check on them and they are happy and vibrant and confident, that inspires me. If I had to pick one moment or memory that stood out to me in my teaching career that made me realize I was making a difference, when my principal came to me and said, there is a child that is going through a really hard time in his life right now. I want to put him specifically in your class. He's had a really hard time in kindergarten and I need him to be with a teacher who is caring and nurturing. He was placed in my class, and this little boy became such a beautiful part of our class. And we had our ups and downs, but at the end of the year, he was so successful. I didn't see, past the first month or so, we had no behavior issues. And his grandmother, who he was living with at the time, I could remember her contacting me, telling me that she didn't know what I was doing, but his behavior at home had gotten better and he was just a different child. His grades were exceptional. I checked on him not too long ago through a family friend, and he's in high school now and he's doing great and he's playing sports. So I think that's always something, that's a memory that I'll keep in the back of my head, always knowing that he's someone that I think I made a difference, on.
To me, to represent Lakewood as Teacher of the Year, it's humbling and exciting. My peers see me as I always wanted them to, and so that's very exciting. My biggest fear when I first started teaching was, I guess, respect from the kids, getting respect, earning their respect, and getting them to follow my lead, take on the challenges that I put before them, follow my expectations, and to get them successful in the end. I'm a different teacher now than when I first started teaching because now I am more confident, I think. I can reach the kids. I'm not afraid of what they're going to think of me. I just get the curriculum, learn the curriculum, give it to them in an effort to make them successful. When my students look back on their years with me, I hope that they remember the fun that we had. I want them to think about the successes that they had. I want them to think about the way they failed and how they grew from that failure and just sharing that with the rest of the class. I hope they remember the kids that they met and just the experiences we had and how happy they were in my class and how much joy it brought them. What inspires me to teach, I think, is the joy in the kids. Seeing them grow, seeing them succeed, seeing them cry, but then bounce back, seeing them succeed in the end, and just being comfortable with learning. Teaching during a pandemic has taught me that there's so many stories out there with these kids. Everybody has their own little thing going on. And us being virtual, they're all there for a reason, because someone's sick, or they're afraid of getting sick, or they're trying to protect themselves and their family. Knowing that everybody has a little story is just more than I think I would have felt in the classroom with the kids all there, because you don't get to see their backgrounds. I get to see them in their houses. I get to see grandma and grandpa behind them, or mom and dad, or all of their pets. And so it's been very personal and very kind of one-on-one and getting to know everybody. One moment that stood out to me that made an impact, I would have to say, would be this year. My kids this year, and teaching online and having them behind a computer screen and just not even knowing if you can connect with them, but then you do. And reading those stories, and the day that I cried with them at the end of a novel and had no idea that I would do that and have that connection with the kids, and them connecting with me and feeling what I felt and enjoying that book as much as I did, and just that impact and that relationship and that community that just came together right there that we all felt. That was nice.
To be able to represent a school that I love, in a profession that I love, in a job that I love, that is really and truly my passion, is just such an honor. I did not take the traditional path. I went to school and I got a degree in English literature, and then I went to law school and realized that that wasn't for me. So sitting in graduation for law school and thinking like, this isn't where my heart is. And when I went into teaching, my biggest fear was, I didn't do the student teaching. I didn't have the experience. I didn't have the methods classes and all that. So my biggest fear my first year was I would not give these kids everything that they needed. As hard as it is, like, that is where my heart is. And having done something completely different and coming into teaching, like, that was my biggest fear, that I wouldn't be enough. And then I realized that who I am is enough for these kids, and they love you just how you are. So I initially thought I had to follow a script. I had to be a certain way. I had to model this idea of what a teacher is. And 8 years in, there's such a comfort level that I feel like these kids are my kids. I take ownership of them. I laugh with them. I joke with them. I have fun with them. And I realize that that's okay, that that's who I am as a teacher. And I don't have to fit this mold. I just have to be who I am, and that's enough. I really and truly hope that they take from my class, they take from me, that I really and truly love each and every one of them. I see who they can be, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that they're successful in life. I tell my kids all the time, you can leave my classroom having never made honor roll, and I will be so incredibly proud if you become a wonderful human being. I will admit, when we first, announced that we were coming back into the classroom, I was terrified. All the things that I love about my class I thought were going to be lost, the relationships and the camaraderie and the laughter and the fun. It has taught me flexibility. I've realized that there's so many different ways to build relationships. And I think that even in the midst of, okay, you gotta stay 6 feet apart, we're still able to have fun during morning meeting. My kids are still able to do like a socially distanced group work and talk with each other and, have a positive third grade experience. So I just had to think outside the box. I had to be flexible. It has been a challenge, but I have to say, in the midst of everything, I've really enjoyed this year. I've enjoyed the resiliency that I see in these kids and what they've overcome. I told them recently, like, y'all are my heroes. And I'm like, you did this on your own. Came to third grade and you are exceeding the expectations above and beyond of what I could even imagine is possible. And just to see that in the midst of the craziness that's going on right now, it gives me chills sometimes to think about it. So I'm just really excited for them.
Teaching during a pandemic has taught me that teachers can do everything. We're so much more than just standing in front of a board delivering content. I know now that we are we encompass so much more than just the day-to-day teaching. Teaching during this pandemic has shown me how versatile teachers are, how strong teachers are, how absolutely dynamic teachers are. We were able to pivot out and on a dime pick up where we left off. We were able to tackle technology that a lot of us, myself included, we had never tackled before. We are always continuing to grow and improve in our field, and I think this pandemic has shown us that teachers can absolutely do it all, no matter what is thrown at us. When I first started teaching, I used to see teaching as we had to do this curriculum, we had to do this lesson, but now I just see it in such a different way. I see teaching as educating the whole child. I want students to connect concepts throughout the year, and so that they can continue to grow and learn, not just while they're in first grade with me, but when they're in third grade and fifth grade and up into high school. So I just see the content differently. I see students differently. I see students as a whole person. I want to connect with you on a level so that you can continue to grow and be a lifelong productive citizen in the community. I want them to remember the feeling that I gave them and instilled in them, the love of learning, so that when they are in high school, they can look back on first grade and say, I loved learning and I want to continue to grow and learn as I get older. The person who inspires me to teach is my mom. She is such a kind, patient person who would do anything for anyone. She's so genuine, and she always taught me how important school was and how important education was to your future, and so she really inspired me to become a teacher myself to make a difference in the community. So my biggest fear when I first started teaching is that I was worried that I wasn't going to make the type of impact that I wanted to make. I was worried that I wasn't going to reach the students in a way that I really wanted to, in a deep, meaningful way, and have those connections. And I thought everything had to be done in one day. But then I grew over time, and I saw that we had the entire school year, and then we had years after that when we were all still at the same school together to connect. I think my students have a very bright future ahead of them. I want them to continue setting goals for themselves. I want them to have high standards for themselves. I want them to chase their dreams and face tough situations head on. And I want them to look back to when they were with me and say, Miss Minshew believed in me. And if she believed in me, then I can believe in myself and I can achieve anything.
Our Teacher of the Year from Norco Elementary School became a teacher because she wanted to make a difference in children's lives through a career that was rewarding and challenging. However, if not a teacher, she would have been a marine biologist. Ms. LeBourgeois enjoys spending time outdoors, taking care of her little farm, and volunteering for Special Olympics. During her summer vacations, she takes a trip to the beach every year. The book currently on Ms. LeBourgeois' bedside table is 5 Love Languages for Children. And apparently, we would have 2 Marie Antoinettes at our masquerade ball, since that is also whom she would disguise herself as. Ms. LeBourgeois is married to her high school sweetheart, Brad, and they have 3 amazing children, Riley, Addison, and Brantley. Norco Elementary School's Teacher of the Year, Amanda LeBourgeois. Our Teacher of the Year from Lakewood Elementary School became a teacher to impact the lives of children by creating lasting memories for them academically and socially. However, if not a teacher, she would have enjoyed a career in mechanical engineering. Mrs. Madden enjoys running, bike riding, traveling, and trying new foods. Since her husband is an insurance adjuster, She gets to travel with him throughout the U.S. and Canada during her summer vacations. Mrs. Madden is currently reading The Book of Qualities by R.J. Ruth Chandler. Not only would royalty attend our masquerade, we would also have a Roman goddess in our presence, as Miss Madden would dress up as Diana, the Roman goddess of the moon and hunting. Okay. She has been married to her husband Jim for 26 years and has 2 grown boys, Jay and Gavin. Lakewood Elementary School's Teacher of the Year, Shannon Madden. Our Teacher of the Year from St. Rose Elementary School became a teacher because she was inspired by seeing her grandmother's love and passion for her students. However, if not a teacher, she thinks she would have liked being a personal shopper or a professional chef. Me too, girl. Mrs. Malbrough volunteers with her church teaching a group of toddlers on Sundays. During her summer vacations, she likes to spend a lot of time with her children bike riding, working in their garden, and taking trips to places like the zoo and the aquarium. Better Off Wed, an Annabelle Archer wedding planner mystery by Laura Durham, is the book on her bedside table. Another mystery is what this teacher would disguise herself as at a masquerade. She says it would be a fancy dog show poodle because of a running joke that she has with her students. Mrs. Malbrough is an only child who has been married to her husband, Micah, for 12 years. They have 2 children, 3-year-old Mason and 9-year-old Sydney. St. Rose Elementary School's Teacher of the Year, Ashley Malbrough. Our Teacher of the Year from Alamans Elementary School became a teacher because she wanted a job that was fun and that she loved doing every day. However, if not a teacher, she would have been an events coordinator or a professional organizer, since she loves to organize everything. Mrs. Minshew was involved with Boy Scouts with her oldest son and enjoys shopping, reading mystery novels, going to dinner, and watching reality TV. During her summer vacations, she loves to clean out and organize closets and cabinets, in addition to taking family trips. Mrs. Minshew has 2 books within her reach at home, Where the Crawdads Sing and the Woman's Study Bible, Receiving God's Truth for Balance, Hope, and Transformation. Look for the Winter Queen in an all-white dress and a mask to find Miss Minshew at a masquerade. She is married to Brad, and they have 2 beautiful boys, 6-year-old Britton and 3-year-old Balin. Alaman Elementary School's Teacher of the Year, Amber Minshew. We now have come to the most exciting moment of the evening, the naming of the 2020-2021 St. Charles Parish Elementary School Teacher of the Year. The winning teacher will receive a Chromebook donated by Cox Communications, an engraved crystal vase, or vase, depends on where you're from, and a check for $1 Once again, please come forward as your name is called. It says dramatic pause. The 2020-2021 St. Charles Parish Elementary School Teacher of the Year is Amber Minshew, Alamans Elementary School. I'd like to invite the king of our Mardi Gras crew, Superintendent Dr. Ken Ortling, to the podium to make some remarks.
Thank you, Aaron. So before I get to the script, I'd just like to first say that, over a year ago, almost to the night, we were sitting in this room as principals, recognizing that year's Teachers of the Year. And I remember making a comment, one, what will this look like in the future, right? And one of the things we made a comment about was we didn't know if we were going to have toilet paper for a while, right? Remember that? We didn't think this would last that long. We didn't think we would be out of school that long. And I think it's very symbolic that tonight, where we ended last year celebrating our teachers, almost to a full year to the day, once again, we're celebrating our teachers. Because, yes, please. Because our teachers are at the ground of this pandemic. The leadership at the schools with our principals, the dedication of the support staff and administration, the leadership of our board to ensure that we provide the tools necessary for our teachers to be successful in the classroom each and every day during a pandemic. When they told us, you won't open, you won't stay open, you can't provide school system support to students virtually, in the classroom, every day, we have. And it's because of your hard work and dedication as teachers and employees of this phenomenal school system. Yes! That we have. That was a dramatic pause, right? But I want to sincerely thank each and every one of you teachers, administrators, support staff, board members for getting us to this point. Because when I look at those videos and see the lives of our students in their future in the palm of our hands, it makes it all worth it. And it hasn't come without struggles, hasn't come without the challenges, but you know what? Each and every one of those kids deserves the future that they have because of you. Not in spite of what we couldn't do, but because of what we could do. And we did that as a community at St. Charles Parish Public Schools. So thank you for that. Thank you. Okay, now I'll get back to the script. I typically do that, but that was from the heart, and I mean it. Look in the eyes of trouble with a smile. Extend your hand and do not be afraid. 'Tis but a friend who comes to masquerade. And test your faith and courage for a while. Fly, and he follows fast with threat and jeer. Shrink, and he deals hard blow on stinging blow. But bid him welcome as a friend. And lo, the jest is off, the mask will disappear. The Masquerade by American author and poet Ella Wheeler Wilcox may have been published in 1911, but his relatability has never been greater than this school year. Listen again. Look in the eyes of trouble with a smile. Extend your hand and do not be afraid. August 6, 2020, you, our teachers, did just that. Knowing the importance of education for our students and their possible nervousness, you greeted them with smiling eyes and often outstretched high fives and elbows. 'Tis but a friend who comes to masquerade and tests your faith and courage for a while. Yes, our students, or as you elementary teachers like to refer to them as friends. I was a high school teacher, sorry. You were nervous, but I know you were anxious as well. While you knew every possible precaution was put into place, you still had to practice faith and courage for the betterment of our students. Fly, and he follows fast with threat and jeer. Shrink, and he deals hard blow and stinging blow. As professionals in your craft, you were able to find that delicate balance of providing a high-quality, engaging learning experience while mitigating the risk. But bid him welcome as a friend in lo. The jest is off, the mask soon will disappear. Our teachers embraced the challenges the pandemic provided us. You welcomed the opportunity to reimagine education. You found solutions to make the school year possible, and in the process have discovered ways to improve the education we provide for years to come. We may have had to wear masks that partially hid our faces, but we have not hidden from our challenges and are better today for it. Thank you. On behalf of the students of St. Charles Parish Public Schools, our community, our board, our parish, our government, and our state, thank you. Thank you for the many sacrifices. Thank you and your families for the daily sacrifices you have made to put our students first. Thank you for ensuring every student matters and every moment counts. And I'd also like to thank a few people here who made tonight's special event very, very, very special. Please hold your applause until everyone's been recognized. Shell Norco for their generous donation in sponsoring tonight's event, and Cox Communications, our Mistress of Ceremonies, Ms. Erin Grenier. Satellite Center Advanced TV Broadcasting Team, members and facilitator, Ms. Sam Clement, for production assistance, and we're streaming live. Public Information Department, Director Stevie Crevetta. Coordinators, Ms. Regina McMillan and Mason Dauphin. And Regina, by the way, wrote that speech. So I want to give a special shout out to Regina McMillan. I typically write my own, but she wrote that and I said, I'm not touching that. That's great. Phenomenal. Senior Secretary, Ms. Stacy Dejean. Please join me in thanking all the people who have worked so hard to make this a special and memorable night. Strong Start 2020, a branding that we will not soon forget. The word start indicates a beginning and an impetus. But as you know, our journey as teachers never ends. Even one day when we officially retire, we do not stop being teachers. It is in our blood. It remains in our hearts. But that does not mean we don't need to recharge along the way. We probably need to recharge quite a bit this summer, right? I hope each of you experience a recharge for your calling through this Teacher of the Year experience. As a small token of appreciation and to help you recharge your tools and resources in this semi-virtual year, each of our 9 elementary school teachers of the year is being given a charger for their personal use. And to close my comments, I'd also like to congratulate each and every one of you and look forward to the day soon in the future when I can reiterate the closing of Ellen Wheeler Wilcox's poem, "The jest is off and the mask will disappear."
Thank you, King Ken. Masks are worn at a masquerade to hide our identities. Before we leave this evening, I'd like to ask everyone to direct their attention to the screen one last time for a glimpse of our teachers' true identities behind the masks.
It means for me to be able to represent New Sarpy, I think it's just that's the fun part. We make mistakes, it's fine. Okay, yes. I finally have one that I know what I'm saying. Okay.
I want them to learn what they need to do, I want to start over.
Okay. Way more prepared than we could even possibly imagine, so.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I guess represent them in a way that is out, I don't know, wait, let me think.
It was where I was meant to be, and it was where I will be until hopefully I retire. No, that doesn't sound good.
Everyone's seeing it, and not that, I don't know. I'm so bad on the spot.
It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. When I first started teaching, my biggest fear was that I wasn't going to make as much as it means, wait, okay.
Yep. Looking back now, actually stop, I can't remember what the question was now.
Alamans Elementary School, and go, okay.
Trend that my students love that I don't understand. See, I understand TikTok, so I can't say that. I don't understand how to do TikTok dances.
Well, they try to get me to dance, but I always say, Miss Hawkey does not dance. I am not a good dancer. So, and like most of the games they are interested in, a lot of times my boys, usually it's the boys who are interested in the video games, and my sons play. So they usually, I kind of see the Xbox on in the living room, so I get an idea of what's going on.
The floss too. Yes, okay, so the floss is one, and I've tried to get a lot of the students to teach me the moves, and they even started off, look, they scaffolded it for me. So they were like, do the hips, then get your arms in, and I'm still like messing it up. So I'm not really big on the flossing and the dance moves just yet, but I'm gonna work on it and get it. All kinds of stuff, like the TikTok thing. What are y'all doing? Oh, it's on TikTok, okay, TikTok.
I guess all the TikToking, I mean, those different videos and things that they do. I get that it's fun and trying out to do the different dances and dance moves to go along with the new songs and stuff, but I mean, I understand it, it just, I don't see whether they enjoy it so much. It's just a little different for my time, I guess.
That would be it. The TikTok and Among Us, I don't understand. Among Us sounds fun. Sounds very mysterious.
All of these new games that they're finding out, and I'm like, what is that? Where did you even find that? Oh, Fortnite. Oh, okay. Oh, Among Us. I'm like, what is that? So a lot of games and things that they're playing that I don't have a clue about.
It's funny the trends that these younger kids know. Like you would think that they don't know things about the computer, and they know everything. And they'll teach you Coco Kangaroo, and they want you to dance in the middle of it.
Everything they pretty much watch now is on YouTube. It's the strangest thing. Everything is on YouTube. I'm like, do you watch regular TV these days?
My partner teacher and I have made it our goal in life to be the cool teachers. So we've downloaded the TikTok and we follow the different, rappers and singers that they follow and try to like get into the music and the dances. And for the most part, I'm gonna be honest, like it's pretty ugly to look at this 30-plus-year-old woman try to do the, I have no rhythm. I'm not even gonna try to do the dances.
And with that, our 2021 Elementary School Teachers of the Year Masquerade comes to a close. Teachers, please take home your award, masks, gift, and picture. However, please leave the flower centerpieces and the picture easels on the tables for tomorrow night's banquet. True story. On behalf of the St. Charles Parish Public School Board and its employees, I would like to thank everyone for joining us. I ask that everyone please allow all of our Teachers of the Year to come forward to the podium for press photos. Teachers, please bring your awards with you to the front for those photos. Thank you, and have a safe drive home.